There is a lot going on in this story, and I got a bunch of mixed feelings about it, but check this out. Republican mega donor and converted Trump supporter Paul Singer buys stake in Twitter and plans to oust Jack Dorsey. We may be looking at the hostile takeover of Twitter and finally, perhaps, an end to the double standards. A Trump supporter can tweet a spicy meme, and sure enough, boom, banhammer. Yet someone on the far left can actively encourage crimes, and they say, well, that's political speech. We know how it goes. It's not absolute. Certainly people on the left can be banned too, but it's a tendency. Now it seems, I don't know for sure, like this guy might be coming in, and if he does, he's going to have a lot to say to change that company. You know what? For the most part, I welcome it. I am in favor of free speech, even for the far lefty socialists who want to advocate for socialism, even when they're wrong, because you know what? I'm wrong too sometimes. And if they want to come and ban me, if they want to go and ban someone else, I'm worried one day they'll come for me. So I'll accept all the bad with the good, because that's what it takes to be free. Nothing will be perfect. They get to say their stupid stuff, so do I. So good. If this guy comes in and actually defends freedom of expression for everybody, we're much better off for it. However, Jack Dorsey, in my opinion, he's just a figurehead. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You know, I met the guy last year. I did the Rogan podcast with him. I've talked to him. We've DM'd a little bit. I don't think he's involved at all. So I don't know how you change the company, but I'll tell you what, money talks and BS walks. Let's read the story from the Daily Mail. A Republican mega donor and converted Trump supporter has bought a large stake in Twitter and is planning to oust Jack Dorsey from his role as CEO, according to sources close to the matter. Paul Singer, founder of investment management firm Elliott Management, has reportedly taken a hefty stake in the social media company and is planning to use his newfound influence to push for many changes, starting at the top. One of the first things on his list is to force out CEO Jack Dorsey, sources told Bloomberg. The value of the stake in the firm is not known. I don't know that even if you took a large stake, I mean, Twitter's a valuable company. So this appears to be very political. I don't think Twitter's worth that much, man. I guess it's a utility, great, but my understanding is they weren't profitable for a long time. They even had to downsize. Man, I got allergies, forgive me. But also, I think once he gets in and sees what Jack Dorsey is really doing, I don't think it matters. But it may be that with all of the loss in confidence, there's a real business opportunity here. Take a look at it this way. A lot of conservatives are losing faith in Twitter, even though a lot of them still use it. Perhaps removing Jack Dorsey, though he may just be a figurehead, may build confidence in conservatives and boost the stock value of the company. If he comes in and says, this guy has been disruptive, whether he has or hasn't, then the stock price might go up if they bring in a CEO who's got a better track record or who may be more involved. Or at the very least, he could say, the investors know Jack Dorsey is barely involved. Bringing in somebody else might show that there's an active role in the company to improve things. I don't know for sure. Maybe he just saw a business opportunity. But considering it's Twitter, considering the censorship, I kind of think like this is an activist move meant to empower more of the free speech advocates. So, hey, more power to you, man, I guess. Though I will say I do have concerns over this kind of massive influence. And we got to be careful here. We don't want someone to tilt the scales in the other direction. Definitely not. They say Singer is a Republican donor who opposed Trump during his 2016 race for the White House. But he has since done a U-turn to become a keen supporter of the president. In 2017, Trump invited Singer to the White House and said afterwards that Singer was very much involved with the anti-Trump, or as they say, never Trump, and Paul just left. And he's given us his total support, and it's all about unification. I got to add to this, you know, Trump, he really has united not just the Republican Party, but if you watched my earlier segment on my main channel, check it out. YouTube.com/Timcast. I really do think it's one of the more important stories that I've actually covered. Small town Democrats flipping and joining the Republican Party, elected officials. This is a town had a 4-1 Democratic majority. 2 of them flipped, giving the Republicans a 3-2 majority. So that's crazy. Donald Trump is pulling in Democrats to the Republican side. That's unity. I'll tell you what. They say it's no secret that Trump is a big fan of using Twitter to broadcast his thoughts to the world and to announce major events impacting the U.S. But Twitter came under fire for its position on political ads, along with Facebook and Google. in September after it refused to remove a misleading video ad from Trump's campaign that targeted former Democrat Joe Biden. I'm calling BS on this. It was an opinion. You're allowed to have it. Welcome to politics. Grow up. Following the issue, Dorsey announced Twitter was banning all political advertising from its service, saying social media companies give advertisers an unfair advantage in proliferating highly targeted and misleading messages. They're all misleading. Welcome to politics. Grow up. We've made the decision to stop all political advertising on Twitter globally. We believe political message reach should be earned, not bought. Why? A few reasons, Dorsey tweeted. Trump has regularly blasted Twitter, accusing it, along with Facebook and Google, of political bias against conservatives and even suggesting the platforms had tried to rig the election. We can see then some photos. We'll scroll down. He has also repeatedly threatened to investigate or regulate them. In July, he called on Congress to pass legislation that would clamp down on the firms and said Twitter should be fined for engaging in possible illegal activity. Now, I got to say, I think Trump's overreacting a little bit. I think there are people on the left who do get banned as well, but I believe the bias is fairly obvious. And it was originally reported by left-wing sources. I love how it's one of the smears they try to use against me. If you look at my wiki page, it says, Poole often, bolsters claims that conservatives face political bias, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I didn't report that, dude. Gizmodo did. It's insane. Poole parrots that. No, I'm citing something. How insane. Not my opinion. I mean, it is my opinion. But the point is, when I say, here's a left-wing website claiming there's bias against conservatives, don't point the finger at me and say, Tim's saying it. Gizmodo did, you morons. It remains to be seen what impact a Republican Trump supporter stakeholder will have on the social media platform's future political stance. Singer wouldn't be the first stakeholder to have voiced concerns over Dorsey's leadership. In December, Scott Galloway, a professor of marketing at New York University's Stern School of Business and an investor in Twitter, wrote a letter calling for Dorsey to be replaced at the helm. To be clear, my primary objective is the replacement of CEO Jack Dorsey, Galloway said in an open letter to Executive Chairman Omid Kordestani. However, your firm's weapons of mass entrenchment include a staggered board that may force shareholders to seek to replace other directors, including yourself, first. Since Dorsey returned as CEO in July 2015, Twitter's shares have tumbled by 6.2%. News of Singer's stake in the company saw shares rise on Friday, even amid fears the spread of coronavirus would lead to a recession. Singer's firm, Elliott Management, is an activist investor, meaning it regularly pushes for change in companies it owns shares in. I am not a big fan of massive wealth manipulating political discourse, and that includes Twitter itself. So what we're seeing right now is a battle of titans. I don't know exactly how it will play out, and I can't say I'm really mad this guy's doing it. Maybe he'll bring balance to the force, or maybe he'll be like Darth Vader and kind of skew everything in the wrong direction. There's a lot of opportunity in Twitter. Their shares have fallen partly because there's probably a lot of conservative users who have left, and that's hurt the platform. When Twitter started banning people, a lot of people got angry saying, you're banning all of the interesting people. People used to love to post videos of Alex Jones, left and right. And then when they banned him, now it's just not there anymore, for the most part. Out of sight, out of mind, I guess. But it made the site more fun. You get rid of everybody but the milquetoast fence sitters like me, and Twitter's going to be a boring gray blob. Why be on the platform if you can't see people say silly things? Of course, they typically ban people on the right, so you have the lunatics of the far left screeching like banshees, and they don't do anything about it. Which brings me to the real economic opportunity. I personally would not want to invest in a company that would prioritize ideology over actual function or profitability. If this guy can come in and restore that to Twitter, dare I say he might actually make Twitter more valuable. Though there are a lot of people who would suggest you should not be putting money in companies like Twitter because it's an activist company, I think it might be a good time to buy if this guy can actually make some changes. Because I think a lot of the Republicans are, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them are of a balanced and logical mind. I'm not saying Democrats aren't. What I mean to say is this guy may be an activist investor. He may take issue with the political bannings, but he also might be a pragmatist who realize we have a lot of room to grow if we can get rid of the censorship issue. What Jack Dorsey, sort of, I don't know who's really doing it. I don't want to say it's him. But what Twitter has done has told conservatives and, not necessarily even conservatives, but people who might have bad opinions that you are not welcome here. They have actively sought to reduce their user base because they're morons. Now, I'm sure they think we're going to make our base bigger by getting rid of bigots, not realizing that people are walking away from the left and joining the Republican Party. They don't want to be surrounded by lunatics screeching about pronouns, which is what Twitter is giving you. So I'll tell you what. If I start to see positive changes, hey, I consider throwing some stuff into Twitter. If they can get better leadership to actually embrace sane thought, Twitter will be a better place. I'll leave it there. Stick around. I got one more segment coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.